Discover the 2 miraculous reasons people are divinely drawn to you, revealed in 40 days. In the tranquil embrace of the quaint English village of St. Elmo, where the rolling hills sang softly with the whispers of generations past, a single mother named Sarah found herself at the heart of a delicate spiritual battle. The air crackled with an unseen force, ripe with divine potential. As she lit the first candle of her 40-day prayer journey at the village church, a cascade of warmth overtook her, illuminating her heavy heart like the dawn breaking over the hills. She had come seeking healing for her precious son, Oliver, and deep down, she believed that God would answer her fervent cries in that sacred space. Sarah's prayer flowed like a river, each word amplified by the flickering candlelight. Lord, hear my pleas for my son, guide us to hope. And then something extraordinary happened. The candle flames danced erratically, swaying in a rhythm as if in reply to her heartfelt words. Perhaps it was just the wind, or perhaps it was a gentle nudge from heaven. But in that moment, Sarah felt the palpable presence of the divine. The following days unfolded in a blur of prayer and hopeful anticipation. Each evening, as she gathered with fellow parishioners in their living rooms for prayer groups, the warmth of camaraderie enveloped them like a divine cloak. Testimonies were shared, each one echoing the power of faith. "Sarah, your spirit shines bright," an elder remarked, eyes shimmering with tears. "You remind us all that faith is more than mere words." Each compliment sent ripples of warmth through her soul, igniting a dormant fire of purpose within her. Yet, as the early days passed, doubt began to creep in, whispering soft lies that danced around the edges of her conviction. Her heart throbbed with anxiety as she contemplated turning to modern medicine, only to quickly drown out those thoughts by clinging to the tender strength of her prayers. Just when she caught her breath, she stumbled upon the ancient prayer of the village's beloved patron saint, words that had healed the broken and uplifted the downtrodden for centuries. With renewed determination, Sarah recited those words with a fervor that could ignite the sky. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the end of her dedicated 40-day journey approached, an inexplicable sense of urgency enveloped the village, as if time was holding its breath. One fateful evening, as the sun dipped below the hills, Sarah knelt before the altar. The weight of prayer mingled with her soul's deepest yearning. In the stillness, an eerie silence fell over the church. It was then that she felt an electric charge ripple through her body, a sign that something miraculous was about to unfold. But just then, an unforeseen challenge materialized, threatening to shatter the fragile hope she had so tenderly built. The congregation murmured in disbelief, their eyes wide with fear and anticipation. Sarah's heart raced as she considered the fate that lay before her. Would her steadfast belief hold, or would she relinquish her dreams at the brink of despair? Standing there at the altar, her eyes gazing toward the heavens, she prepared herself for divine intervention, uncertain, yet acutely aware that the question remained. Was she truly ready to embrace the miracles God had waiting for her, even if they arrived in the most unexpected forms? The tension in the church hung thick, like the air before a storm. Sarah's breath quickened as the murmurs of concern enveloped her. "Trust," she whispered to herself, feeling the weight of her own doubts. The flickering candles cast dancing shadows, flickering like her faith. Would she stand firm, or would she falter? Just then, her friend Peter, a gentle soul with an unwavering faith, stepped forward. "We must come together," he called out, his voice breaking the silence like a ray of light piercing through a dark cloud. "This is our moment to pray, to lift Sarah and Oliver's plight before the Almighty." His words ignited a spark among the congregation. One by one, they joined hands, forming a circle of unity around Sarah. The warmth radiated from their clasped hands, a physical embodiment of collective faith. Susan, a kind elderly lady with a voice like honey, began to hum a familiar hymn, her melody rising like incense to the heavens. Others soon joined, their voices blending in a harmonious plea for miracles. With her heart swelling in gratitude, Sarah closed her eyes and leaned into the energy of the moment. The melody surrounded her, wrapping her in a cocoon of hope. As they sang, she felt the heaviness that had anchored her heart begin to lift. "Lord, hear our prayers," she implored, her voice soft yet fervent amidst the rising chorus. "We lean on you, we trust in your will." In her mind's eye, she envisioned Oliver, running joyfully through the fields, laughter spilling like sunshine vivid and real. She channeled this image, amplifying her belief as she surrendered her worries to God. It was an act not of defeat, but of divine trust. In the depths of heartache, she found release. With every note sung and every prayer uttered, something shifted. The electricity that had rippled through Sarah moments before now crackled among them all, merging their spirits into a single ray of astonishing faith. As if in response, light flickered brighter against the church walls, illuminating corners once shrouded in gloom. And then, through the din of voices, Sarah felt a surge of new clarity breaking through her doubts. She could sense Oliver's innocence and resilience. They were connected as never before, anchored by their unwavering love. "God, I'm ready to embrace your miracle. However it may come," she breathed deeply, her resolve strengthening. As the song reached its climax, an unexpected sound drew Sarah's attention. The church doors creaked open slowly, revealing a figure silhouetted against the golden twilight. The villagers paused in their singing, glancing towards the entrance. Silence enveloped the room once again. Who could it be, arriving at such a pivotal moment? Suspense filled the air as curiosity turned to wonder. As the figure stepped inside, a gasp echoed through the congregation, eyes widening as they recognized the familiar shape. Had she wandered into the miraculous or the ordinary? What awaited Sarah was still unknown, a divine mystery waiting just beyond the threshold. What did this visitor bring with them, and how would it change the course of her journey? The altar seemed to hold its breath along with Sarah, each moment pregnant with potential. Could this be part of God's answer? Would the resolution to her prayers be enacted through this unexpected arrival? In the midst of spiritual turmoil, a flicker of hope ignited anew. The unfolding revelation held the promise of untold transformation, a bridge between the heart and the heavens. What awaited Sarah and the villagers as the figure stepped closer, revealing secrets and stories untold? The figure stepped forward, and Sarah's breath caught in her throat. Could it really be? Emily, her sister, stood before them, weary yet radiant, a gentle glow surrounding her. It had been months since Emily had ventured far away, seeking peace and purpose. Had she found it? Or was this a divine appointment that God had orchestrated in a moment of great need? Gasps echoed softly through the congregation, old wounds and memories flickering back to life. The last time Sarah had seen her sister, they had parted not in anger but in unspoken words. An embrace would have been welcome then. Now, at this crucial moment, Sarah felt both joy and confusion flutter within her. What had Emily experienced in her time away? "Sarah." Emily's voice broke the spell of quiet. It was trembling yet filled with warmth. "I'm back. I'm here." Tears filled Sarah's eyes as she stepped forward. She pulled Emily into a tight embrace, feeling the familiar softness of her sister's hair, the warmth of their shared past weaving their souls back together. The congregation stood silent, caught in the magnetic pull of the overwhelming reunion. "Praise God you're here," Sarah finally murmured, her voice thick with emotion. The entire church seemed to breathe in sync with her, drawn into the light of this unexpected miracle. Emily looked up, her eyes glimmering with both love and a touch of urgency. She didn't release Sarah from her grasp. "There's so much to tell," she said, glancing around the room. "But more importantly, I have something that might help Oliver." Hearts quickened at her words, a wave of curiosity washing over the assembly. What could she have that would touch their troubled lives? Peter stepped forward, exuding calmness. "Emily, we've been praying for Oliver." "What do you mean?" The atmosphere shifted. Emily took a deep breath, as if summoning strength from afar. During my time away, I met people, I encountered heartaches and triumphs that humbled my spirit. I came to understand more about faith than I ever thought possible. In a remote village, I found a healer. Someone who can heal. Susan interrupted, her voice hopeful. The collective tension in the church strained with expectancy. Yes, Emily nodded, her face aglow with the conviction of her discovery. But this healer doesn't work in the way we think. There's not just physical healing at stake. It's deeper, a restoration of the spirit, a divine connection to the Creator that we must tap into first. Sarah's heart soared. Was this the miracle they had been crying out for? Could it truly aid Oliver? But then doubt seeped in. What if it doesn't work? What if it's nothing more than a distant wish? The church felt the weight of Sarah's worried breath. There it was, the mortal hesitation that clings like shadow in moments of divine light. Emily squeezed Sarah's hands. Trust. I know what it's like to doubt. But I also learned that sometimes you have to step into the unknown to find hope. The congregation leaned in, visibly moved by Emily's fierce resolve, the tension shifting to something more radiant, a willingness to believe again. Will you come with me? Emily asked, her eyes sparkling with earnestness. Through this journey, I believe we can uncover God's greater purpose for Oliver and for all of us. As uncertainty intermingled with bursts of cautious hope, the air thickened with the weight of decision. Sarah's heart raced. What if embracing this path would bring forth the miracle they had sought? She turned to her friends, to the gathered spirits in the church, and breathed deeply. Could it be? Could they embark on this spiritual adventure? As they nodded in murmured agreement, a bright warmth filled the room, spurring them towards a mingling of anticipation and trepidation. What awaited them on this new journey, with the promise of miraculous healing beckoning from afar? And as the congregation pulled together, a question floated silently among them all. Was this truly the catalyst for transformation, or merely the first step into a larger divine mystery yet to unfold? Emily's vibrant voice radiated a passion that seemed to envelop them all. As she clasped Sarah's hands, the congregation felt a warmth spreading, igniting a flicker of hope within their hearts. The quiet murmur of prayers unfolded around them, rich with expectancy. They had prayed for a miracle, and now, with Emily back, it felt as if that prayer had begun to bloom. Are we ready to walk this journey together? Emily asked, scanning the sea of faces. Each pair of eyes sparkled with a mix of trepidation and anticipation. It was like they had all stepped into a sacred promise, hanging on the edge of something extraordinary. Peter stepped forward, his usual calm turning electric with excitement. We're with you, Emily, but we also need guidance. Do you feel we're meant to leave now or gather more strength before we go? Faith needs action, Peter, Emily replied earnestly. The healer taught me that true transformation demands movement. We pray for courage, but we must also take steps towards the light. We seek. Whispers of affirmation wove through the rows of seats, knitting them closer together as they pondered her words. Each person was a thread in this tapestry of faith, glowingly connected not just by sorrow or need, but by the love that unfurled in their shared mission. But then, a new figure stirred. A voice emerged from the shadows. It was Martha, an elder in the congregation, known for her wisdom. Hold on, Emily. I hear your heart. But this journey you propose, it cannot be without discernment. There are forces we don't yet understand. The path may be fraught with trials. The church quieted, the weight of Martha's words hanging in the air. They needed to recognize their fears, the shadows hanging over their faith. But they also knew, like autumn leaves trembling on a branch, that sometimes change came with wind. What if this journey leads us to deepen our faith? Were the silent thoughts shared amongst them, weaving bravery into their hearts? After all, miracles often sprouted from the earth of uncertainty. Sarah looked around at her friends. Hope sparked in her soul. But I senti it in our vulnerability that God's strength shines the brightest. She murmured. Yes, exactly. Emily interjected, her excitement bubbling to the surface. What seems impossible can lead to divine solutions. Trust in Him. Everyone, let us step away from all this fear and doubt. Let us move forward in faith. As they stood together, an unbreakable bond forged through trust began to build. Light filled the room, not from the overhead bulbs, but from within each heart rising up in unity. They felt a divine presence drawing nearer, as if heaven itself had opened its arms, inviting them to be part of something larger than mere mortals. "I will not let fear hold us back," Emily declared, her voice growing stronger. "Oliver needs this. We need to trust. You all felt it before, that awakening deep down. We can feel it again. We'll go together. We'll lift each other up in prayer, in faith, in love." Everyone nodded, their spirits buoyant, rising like the dawn breaking over the horizon. They envisioned the journey ahead, uncertain, yes, but invigorated by Goddess' presence among them. "And if the healer does not meet our expectations?" whispered one voice from the crowd. Emily paused, contemplating the question. She could feel the weight of it settle in. If our hearts are open, if we lay down our needs before him, what's most certain is that we will never return the same way we go. With palpable anticipation drifting in the air, they prepared themselves for this divine endeavor. Their breaths were in sync now, each heartbeat echoing the spirit stirring within. As Emily turned towards the door with lingering glances back, the real challenge unveiled itself. They were off to find the healer, but would they discover the greater healing within themselves along the way? What awaited them in the heart of their journey? Would this faith lead them to triumph or trials that challenged their very beliefs? The air outside was crisp, filled with the scent of damp earth and the faint whispers of a gentle breeze that carried with it a sense of promise. As Emily and the group stepped beyond the sanctuary's threshold, a collective hush enveloped them. It was a moment ripe with anticipation, a transition from the familiar warmth of their church into the unknown journey that lay ahead. "You feel that?" Sarah murmured, gazing skyward, where the clouds danced in preparation for the upcoming sunset. "It's as if creation itself is holding its breath." "Yes," Emily responded, a smile brightening her face. "Every step we take is stitched into the fabric of hope. Let us hold on to that as tightly as we do each other's hands." With every footfall, they forged forward, a tapestry woven of faith, friendship, and a single mission: finding Oliver, but also unearthing the deeper layers of their lives. Each person carried their burdens, yet there was a shared understanding. With faith, those burdens could be transformed into something sacred. They soon entered the woods that framed their small town, where trees towered like guardians standing vigil over their path. The sunlight filtered through the leaves, casting flickering shadows that danced like playful spirits upon the ground. In this moment, even the frailest heart felt emboldened, guided by an unseen force leading them ever onward. "Why do we fear the unknown?" Peter asked, breaking the contemplative silence. "Why do we let our doubts dictate our journey?" Emily paused and looked at him, sensing an important realization hovering just beyond reach. "Perhaps it's because we mistake uncertainty for danger. But maybe, just maybe, God's voice is hidden among the questions. What if our greatest fears are simply invitations from him?" The words resonated deeply, echoing in the silence that followed. Each member of the group contemplated their personal fears, the shadows that whispered deceit. The power of vulnerability filled the air as they realized the strength found in confronting these shadows together. "I used to think my fears defined me," Sarah reflected, her voice soft. "But now, I see they are just stepping stones, beckoning me toward his love. What if we dare to choose faith instead?" With that thought planted firmly in their hearts, they pressed on. The path twisted like life itself, unexpected and beautiful, yet filled with obstacles. Along the journey, laughter bubbled freely, and tears mingled with joy, as transformative conversations unfolded. Each shared story illuminated their souls, wrapping them in the warm embrace of community. As the sun began to dip below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and violet, they reached a clearing. The stillness enveloped them, instilling a deep sense of awe. It was here that Emily felt a gentle nudge in her spirit. "Look," she said softly, pointing ahead. A shimmering light flickered amongst the trees, beckoning like a lighthouse for lost ships. "That must be the healer." Excitement surged through the group, but with it came a wave of uncertainty. Questions hung in the air unanswered. What did this healer look like? What would be asked of them in return for aid? Just then, Emily sensed a surge of divine energy. Remember, we come not just for healing, but to seek His will and wisdom. Let us not confine ourselves to expectations, but prepare for what He has planned for us. As they approached the light, hearts racing, wonder tingled at their fingertips. Would they find someone who could touch their needs? Or would they uncover an even greater revelation that would reshape their lives? With the air thick with anticipation, they stepped into the radiant glow, ready to encounter whatever awaited them there. What awaited them would not only uncover the healer's power but reveal the true depth of faith. They had yet to explore what sacred truths would they uncover in this moment of divine connection. Would the healer's presence lead them to an unexpected destiny? As they moved closer to the shimmering light, a gentle warmth engulfed their spirits. It was as if the divine presence was wrapping them in a cocoon of love and acceptance. Emily felt her heart beat in rhythm with the light, pulsing gently, urging her to step forward. With a collective breath, they crossed the threshold into the glow, and what they found was not just illumination but a space filled with peace. The air shimmered around them, thick with an almost tangible love that left them breathless. Within the clearing stood a figure, cloaked in light, their features obscured yet the essence of kindness radiated from this divine healer. "Welcome," a voice resonated, smooth and soothing, carrying with it a wave of calm. "You have journeyed far, driven by love and hope. What burdens do you bring before me?" Emily stepped forward, feeling the weight of her own fears and desires pressing against her chest. "We come seeking help for our friend Oliver, and for ourselves. We want to discover the truth of our paths and the depth of our faith." The healer nodded thoughtfully, eyes sparkling with compassion. "Every request is honored. But understand this, healing might not look as you expect. Sometimes the journey teaches you more than the destination." Peter's brow furrowed. "How do we prepare for something we can't foresee?" "Prepare by opening your hearts," the healer replied. "Let go of expectations, and embrace the adventure that faith unfolds." As the healer spoke, a breeze swept through the clearing, lifting the leaves and creating a melody that harmonized with their eager hearts. The group shared glances, their eyes reflecting a blend of fear and resolve. Could they truly surrender to the unknown? Sarah stepped forward, inspired. "It's like learning to ride a bike. You must trust despite the falls." "Yes," the healer responded, a smile dancing across their face. "Trust is the key to unlocking the mysteries that lie ahead. Faith is a journey, and every stumble is a step closer to grace." In that moment, Emily understood the depth of the healer's words. Each challenge, every uncertainty, was indeed a stepping stone. They weren't simply here for a miracle, but for the revelation of divine connection, the embrace of community, and the growth of their spirits. "I feel different," Emily whispered, her eyes shimmering with tears. "I never thought of my struggles as blessings before." "Because they are," the healer affirmed gently. "Each struggle brings you closer to understanding your strength and your story. Every moment of doubt is an invitation from God to deepen your trust." Just then, the light around them intensified, illuminating shadows in their hearts that had yet to be seen. It glowed brighter as faith awakened beneath the surface, igniting a fierce hope within each member of the group. They felt it a divine pulse, connecting them to something much greater. "I want to be transformed," Peter declared, his voice firm. "I'm ready to let go of what I can't control." "What you surrender, He will renew," the healer replied, their voice resounding through the clearing with authority that still echoed in humility. Then, as if orchestrated by a heavenly symphony, the light began to swirl, casting beams of radiant colors around them. Each hue represented a struggle they had brought forward, illuminating the hidden beauty in their journeys. What if healing is more than we realize? Emily pondered aloud, her heart racing with understanding. What if it's about embracing the entirety of our experience? Yes, the healer affirmed, eyes glistening with approval. Healing flows from acceptance. The moment you embrace your sacred journey, the light transforms your darkness. As the light enveloped them in its brilliance, feelings of warmth and belonging flooded their hearts. They leaned into the truth, hungry for growth, ready for whatever came next. With hearts brimming with desire for understanding, they stood together bound by faith, love, and the promise of new beginnings. What revelations awaited them in the embrace of this luminous presence? How would their lives unfold? In ways they could not yet imagine. As the vibrant light swirled around them, a sensation of unity blossomed within the group. It was not just the warmth of the divine light but the shared energy of their hopes and fears intertwining. Peter, feeling a surge of courage, noticed Sarah's hand reach for Emily's, and then he instinctively took the other. In that fleeting moment, a circle of profound connection formed. "Look," Sarah whispered, her eyes wide. In the center of the swirling colors, a delicate form began to emerge, shapes that danced and shimmered, reminiscent of the dreams each of them held dear within their hearts. These were not mere illusions but representations of their innermost desires. "Do you see it?" Peter murmured, as if caught in a trance. "Our dreams, they're alive." "Yes," replied the healer, the voice a gentle breeze flowing through their souls. "Everything you've longed for is rooted in love, and love manifests in its purest form when shared. This journey is not solely about your individual paths, but about how your lives intersect in the fabric of faith." Emily closed her eyes, and the colors became even more vivid. She felt the stirrings of hope washing over her like waves across the shore. "I want to understand," she breathed. "What do we need to do next?" "The next step," the healer spoke with intentional calm, "is to surrender your fears. Let go of the barriers that keep you from connecting deeply with one another and the Creator. For in that surrender lies the key to your collective healing." Each of them stood rooted in contemplation. Could they truly let the weight of their worries drift away? With hearts racing, they exchanged determined glances, willing the elements of fear and apprehension to be set free. As if sensing their resolve, the light shifted. The colors began intertwining and melding, forming familiar imagery. A circle of hands joined together. They were not alone in this. They were each part of something larger, divinely orchestrated. "I see it now," Sarah breathed, eyes glistening with revelation. "We are stronger together. Each struggle we face becomes lighter when we share it among us." "Yes," Peter's voice cracked with emotion. "We don't have to carry our burdens alone. We lean on each other, and the strength of our community will guide us." The healer nodded, pride evident in their light-enfolded form. When love flows freely among you, it creates an unseen force, a divine bridge connecting your hearts. Embrace this connection. It will lead you toward deeper understanding and insight into your friend's healing. "What about Oliver?" Emily pressed, allowing her concern to surface. "What can we do for him?" "Direct your love towards him," the healer instructed. "Allow your faith to uplift him. Send forth your intentions, each thought a prayer rising into the heavens. Trust that it will reach him." With that, they joined hands in a tight circle, creating a sacred space. Each heart began to beat as one, unified in purpose. They closed their eyes and opened their souls, imagining Oliver enveloped in the same light that surrounded them. "May he feel our love," Emily whispered. "May he feel the strength of our faith," Sarah added. "May he be renewed," Peter concluded, his voice breaking with emotion as their words filled the air. The light shimmered and swirled even more intensely, enveloping them in pure love. They sensed Oliver's spirit entwining with theirs, his own struggles met by their collective strength. And then, in a moment of profound silence, they felt a shift, a weight, not of their own fears, but of an unfamiliar heaviness lifting and transforming. What was emerging from this sacred gathering? Just then, a voice echoed in the vastness of the light, a soft whisper that resonated in their hearts. "The answer you seek lies in the depths of your intentions, and beyond that, a greater mystery awaits." What was this mystery that flickered just out of reach, promising new revelations? Their hearts raced as they braced for what was to come next. As the light enveloped them, an electric current of anticipation hummed in the air. Each heartbeat felt synchronized, pulsing with a divine rhythm. Peter opened his eyes, glancing at his companions. They were not just friends. They were part of a greater tapestry, woven with divine thread. "What do we do now?" Peter asked, the urgency of the moment pressing against his heart. The healer stepped forward, their ethereal presence shimmering with authority. Listen closely. You've begun to awaken the love within, but there is a deeper understanding awaiting you. Each desire in your heart has layers, gifts bestowed upon you that can transform not only your lives but also the lives of others. Emily swallowed hard, her eyes fixed on the healer. What do you mean? How can our desires help others? Desires, when rooted in love and intention, create ripples. They reach out, touching lives in ways you cannot always see, the healer explained, inspiring wonder in their hearts. When you align your intentions with the needs of your community, miraculous exchanges will occur. You will discover your desires intertwined, not just for yourself but for those around you. Sarah leaned in, her brow furrowed with curiosity. But how do we align our desires with others? The healer smiled gently, their face radiating compassion. You must first invite clarity into your hearts. Reflect on what truly fuels your passion and how it intertwines with the needs of those you care about. Envision using your dreams to uplift each other. Begin by sharing your visions with one another. As if guided by an unseen force, the group fell into a natural rhythm. Each began to speak, sharing deep-seated dreams and aspirations, some they had kept hidden for far too long. I want to create art that inspires hope, Sarah confessed, her voice trembling with vulnerability. Peter nodded, feeling the weight of his own dreams lift. I want to start a community garden not just for food, but for gathering, sharing, and healing. Emily's heart swelled with warmth. I've always wanted to open a space for nurturing creativity and spiritual growth. A place where others can come and connect with God. With each revelation, the swirling light brightened, embracing their words with love. The energy crackled, weaving their dreams with threads of light. It was as if God was encouraging them to let their spirits shine brightly together. See? The healer gestured dramatically, revealing a shimmering path formed by the amalgamation of their dreams. These are the stepping stones. You can walk this path, bringing others along. Unified desires can create not just individual fulfillment but a cohesive impact on your community. Just then, a wave of warmth swept over them. A sensation so pure washed away the remnants of doubt. It was a divine affirmation, a calling deeper than any had anticipated. As they each stepped closer together, the light brightened, revealing glimpses of what their future endeavors might inspire. What if we stepped outside of this circle into the world? Peter spoke, the weight of possibility igniting something new within him. What if we turned our dreams into actions? Yes, Sarah exclaimed, her eyes sparkling with newfound determination. We don't just hold these dreams. We let them guide us. But even as hope expanded within them, the healer's demeanor shifted, an enigmatic smile forming. But be cautious. The road to manifestation is not without its challenges. Remember this, the desires you hold might draw unexpected visitors when put into action. This revelation hung in the air. What did the healer mean? Who might come? What obstacles lay in wait? A collective pause filled the room, hearts racing with excitement and fear. They knew their journey had only just begun, and yet, the path before them shimmered with the promise of divine possibilities. What would they discover in the unfolding of their dreams? Would they face trials of faith? As the light dimmed slightly, they sensed the atmosphere thickening with an unspoken truth. A mystery lingered, waiting to unfold. Are you ready to step into the unknown? The healer whispered, their voice echoing as a challenge, a call to delve into the adventure ahead. What awaited them on this path, and who might they encounter along the way? Their hearts brimming with courage, the answer lay just beyond reach. With hearts racing, Peter, Sarah, and Emily exchanged glances, an electric current of hope pulsing between them. The air was thick with anticipation, but also with an undercurrent of uncertainty. Could they truly step into this new chapter of their lives and embrace the unknown with confidence? The healer's words echoed in their minds, imbued with a prophetic weight. Your desires might draw unexpected visitors. What could that mean? Would they face temptations or discouragement on their path? The enormity of what lay ahead began to settle in their hearts. Peter felt a swell of courage overcome his initial trepidation. We have to trust, right? God wouldn't He guide us to something without the strength to meet the challenges. Emily nodded fervently. Yes, it's about stepping into the gifts we've discovered. Sharing them with others has to be worth it. And with that united conviction, the light intensified around them. It radiated warmth and empowerment, filling them with an inexplicable peace. As they stood on the brink of their journey, they started to see the first real insights manifest within their minds. Imagine it, Sarah said softly, her voice nearly a whisper. Imagine that community garden, filled with laughter and life, where people gather not just for food but for belonging, where burdens are shared, and hope grows alongside the vegetables. The vivid imagery brought a smile to Peter's lips. He could already picture the circles of people sharing stories in the shade of leafy greens, cultivating not only plants but friendships. Yet, the thrill of the vision was tinged with the shadow of uncertainty. Had they thought through everything? Emily's eyes brightened. We can have art sessions there too. A space where creativity spills over, where each brushstroke brings healing. As the trio shared their layered dreams, a sweet humility washed over them. Each vision, while personal, had an undeniable thread connecting them, propelling them towards a higher calling. Yet just as hope surged, a flicker of doubt brushed against their hearts. What if they tried and failed? What if the community they hoped to touch resisted their efforts? Feeling the tension, the healer stepped in closer, a calming aura radiating from them. Remember, light does not exist to dwell in darkness. You must sustain your faith, especially when you encounter what threatens to dim your vision. There will be challenges, but the heart of the matter is resilience. The group nodded as their hearts warmed. They would carry their visions as armor against uncertainty, ready to battle self-doubt and fear. Let us pray, Sarah suggested, her voice steady now. They all joined hands, grounding themselves together. Their hearts synced in a gentle rhythm, whispering their hopes and intentions to God, invigorating their resolve. God, guide our steps. Help us recognize the visitors we might encounter, be they supporters or skeptics. Let us embrace each challenge as a lesson. The words flowed naturally, wrapping around them like a cloak of promise. As their prayer concluded, a profound silence swept over them, shrouded in the echo of shared intentions and divine connection. They felt a strong emotion stirring within, a sense of unity and freshly ignited purpose. Then, the healer broke the silence with a knowing smile. With your hearts aligned, you have planted the seeds of transformation. Now it is up to you to nurture them. As the light dimmed, something flickered in the shadows behind the healer. A silhouette seemed to emerge, dancing playfully among the ambient glow, a figure unclear yet undeniably present. What is that? Emily breathed out, her curiosity mingling with wonderment. Do not fear, the healer's voice commanded with an unexpected firmness. Such figures may reflect your deepest fears, or be heralds of the unknown challenges that lie ahead. Stay strong and proceed with faith. The air thickened again with anticipation. What challenges awaited them, and who would step onto their path first? New questions lingered, pregnant with divine possibilities. How would they face whatever approach may come? Would their intentions hold firm against it all? The fragile hum of faith coursed through their veins, preparing them for what was to come. The air within the clearing felt heavy with anticipation, thick with love and purpose, weaving their intertwined hopes into a tapestry of faith. As the figure began to take shape, it revealed itself to be not a shadow but a creature of light, a luminous angelic presence, radiating warmth and peace. Sarah's breath quickened as awe enveloped her. Fear not, the angel spoke, voice melodic like chimes gently swaying in the breeze. You have journeyed earnestly. Your faith has brought you this far, and it will lead you further still. As the angel stepped closer, the light intensified, flooding the clearing with a divine glow. The congregation felt the warmth seep into their very souls, banishing the remnants of doubt that lingered. Each heart began to lift, ignited by an unquenchable desire to trust in the power of their collective journey. Oliver is waiting, the angel continued. But first, you must confront your own shadows, the doubts that threaten the light of your dreams. Murmurs erupted among the gathered spirits, a mixture of anxiety and eagerness. What would this mean for them? Their thoughts spun as they faced the truth that lay ahead. Challenges were inevitable, yet each trial would only deepen their faith, drawing them closer together. Sarah stepped forward, her spirit emboldened as she met the gaze of the radiant being. We're ready. Together we can face whatever comes. We trust in God's plan. The angel smiled, nodding in agreement. Each struggle can either hinder you or become a stepping stone in your divine purpose. Embrace them, for not only will you fortify your faith, but you will also unlock the blessings you seek. Are you prepared to undertake this sacred mission? Yes. The group resounded, voices echoing against the trees. With that unity and purpose, the radiant being lifted a hand, revealing a shimmering path that wound through the woods toward the horizon. Each step beckoned them closer to the heart of their quest, whispering promises of discovery, connection, and healing. Oliver's healing isn't merely a destination, the angel instructed. It's a journey intertwined with yours. The love and faith you nurture among yourselves will create pathways of healing in your community. As their faith fortified, they aligned as one, an embodiment of love and intention, moving with purpose and clarity. Each footfall resonated with conviction, building momentum as they stepped onto the path illuminated before them. With every stride, uncertainty turned into determination. What if we fail? One voice quivered in the back, uncertainty creeping in again. Failures? The healer's voice drifted like a melody, echoing the angel's wisdom. They are merely lessons in disguise, guiding you toward the grace that awaits. When you stumble, lift each other. When you soar, celebrate. The truth in the healer's words ignited a sense of freedom among them. They understood now faith was not a straight line to an answer, but a beautiful, twisting path filled with lessons. They leaned into each other, allowing faith to become their shared foundation. As they reached the village outskirts, they realized their hearts were knitted together, each experience binding them. Let us create a gathering in the heart of our community, Emily exclaimed, a bright spark in her eyes. A day of sharing art, food, faith. We can inspire hope together. Yes, let us call it a day of miracles. Sarah cheered. Let our intentions echo through our village. The angel's presence glimmered, a sign of divine approval, as courage surged within. Every word exchanged, every shared smile breathed life into their desires. They envisioned long tables filled with vibrant dishes, laughter spilling into the wind. They pictured children painting beneath the sun, colors dancing across canvas like the sky at sunset. The presence of love would surround them, transforming the very essence of their village, their home. With their plans fertile in their hearts, they returned to the familiar warmth of their town, now drenched in possibilities. As they spread the news of their gathering, neighbors began to rally, curious and excited. Questions flowed like the rivers that meandered through their land, hope filling the air. Would they embrace this opportunity for unity and healing? Would they share in the journey together? The day arrived, a canvas of blue above with the sun casting its golden glow over the village square. Joy flowed freely as the townspeople gathered. Slowly at first, like a morning dew catching sunlight, but gaining speed like wildfire fueled by faith. Sarah, Peter, Emily, and the others stepped out, leading the way, guided by divine purpose. And in that moment hearts aligned, prayers lifted, and community fortified. A shift occurred. The connection they had forged amidst trials twisted around them like ribbons, binding each soul together, strong and true. They laughed, they cried, hands clasped in support, voices raised in worship. The vibration of joy resonated around, tangible like a sacred breath. They lifted up Oliver's name, infused within songs and stories, pouring love into the universe, each intention a thread of healing. The town resonated with newfound energy, an infusion of hope and testimony unveiled. The outpouring of faith brought a healing balm not just to Oliver, but to every heart intertwined in the rhythm of love. And that divine moment, Sarah's heart swelled as she felt brightness enveloping her and the village. With every challenge met, every shadow confronted they began to see that healing was not just a singular act but a vibrant journey, where every step taken stretched across the fabric of eternity. Together, they became a lighthouse of faith amidst the challenges of life, shining bright, drawing more into the warmth of goddess love. In unity, they discovered the essence of miracles wasn't solely about receiving but about the transformation their journey wove, a testament to the power of love, trust, and faith shared among them. As the sun set, brushing the horizon with strokes of crimson and gold, they sang together, hearts joined, spirits soaring, honoring the journey past and the roads yet to tread. And within that melody sang the truth. They were never alone, for their threads of faith knitted together in a magnificent tapestry, radiant with hope, joy, and divine miracles waiting to unfold. Now, dear friends, this is your moment to connect with us. You need to subscribe immediately to the channel so you don't miss the next exclusive faith stories that can change lives. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm. Your support is vital in spreading these testimonies. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this powerful ending, and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this manifestation of faith in action. Don't wait even one more second. True servants of God understand the importance of supporting this mission, and together, we will continue to shine the light of faith.